everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night on HQ. I'm Beric Livingstone. Legend has it that it was on this very day that champagne was invented. Dom Perignon, you may know, is a posh brand of champagne, but he was an actual person, a monk, and supposedly back in 1693, as he sipped the first ever glass, he said, "Come quickly, brothers, I am tasting the stars." Now, there's a lot of myth about this story, but the Dom was definitely instrumental in shaping champagne as we know it, so I reckon we might as well celebrate today. Why not? Plus, hopefully, you'll have even more to celebrate in a few minutes' time because we have a prize of £1,000 to win or split if you can answer 12 trivia questions. You'll have 10 seconds for each. Get a question correct to move on. Get one wrong and you'll be eliminated. Or if you have any extra lives, you can use one per game to get back in. Get extra lives by inviting friends to play using the code you can find through the app. Okay, let's get straight to Q1. Which of these is the name of a British daily newspaper? The Daily Telegraph, Morning Malarkey, Nightly Memo. In the days before modern newspapers, you could get written notices in Venice for the price of one gazzetta, which was a Venetian coin, and that's why lots of newspapers are called Gazette. Now, it wouldn't be a commute without the Morning Malarkey, but it's actually pronounced the Metro. Steering clear of the night shift, it's the Daily Telegraph. The Telegraph to win Q1 here, and 95,396 if you got that right. The BBC described it as one of the world's great titles. The Harry Potter books are going to blow their minds. Q2. Oh yes, before that, don't forget that every Sunday is Super Sunday on HQ. There's an £8,000 prize to play for, all different subjects and questions from easy peasy to pretty tricky. Get those extra lives in, cram up on your trivia, and get ready for a big one. That's tomorrow. Meanwhile, back to tonight, and here is Q2. What's the name of Microsoft's search engine? Bing, bang, bong. Ah, bing, bang, bong. That must be where the cows go nong and the monkeys all say noo. 3 attention-grabbing sound effects, but who will also grab you some answers? Bang, but higher, it's bing! Bing! Bing, the right answer here, and all being well, 94,058 if you got that right. Microsoft launched their rebranded search engine in 2009, and we've all been binging things ever since. Well, some people must have been. Now, hello to the lovely Reeses and Hugheses, to Alex and baby Aria playing for the first time, to Alison, happy birthday from your daughter Ella, happy 50th wedding anniversary to Benj Neil, hi to Lewis and Liam who are on their way to France, and stay with me for this one, to Mick, Gurge, Andy, Sam, Jag, Nav, Amit, Gerd, Ham, Jeeves and the Malvern Yurts, hello, and Andy, get it out, brew. Gurge told me to say that. It was nothing to do with me. Now for something different, here's Q3. Which of these is the name of a Christian Dior fragrance? Hot dog, sauvage, bratwurst. Sausages, sausages, sausages. It's all about the sausages. They all smell banging on the barbie, but who smells even better on your neck? The wildest wiener on offer. It's sauvage. Sauvage, baby. That was definitely a sauvage, but not a savage question because 91,091 if you got that right. I mean, who doesn't want to smell like the rough freshness of peppery bergamot and the noble lingering scent of amberwood? I can feel it. It's magic. Sauvage. Q5. Q4. Which children's author was a Cadbury's chocolate tester as a child? Roald Dahl, Lewis Carroll, Jacqueline Wilson. They've just advertised for Nutella tasters. It's a 4-hour-a-week job, so you kind of have to do something else as well, but don't spread yourself too thin. Now, Lewis Carroll was certainly testing something, but I don't think it was chocolate. Given a golden ticket of his own, it was Roald Dahl. Whiz Pops, because 60,126 of you got that right. Roald Dahl based Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on his own experiences. So someone should really go and let those Oompa Loompas out. Q5. Which of the following is not the name of a character in South Park? Kyle, Keith, Kenny. Cartman in South Park says, "Ha ha, charade you are," from time to time, which comes from Pink Floyd's Animals album, in case you didn't know. They're pretty fond of the F word in South Park, but which of these K names doesn't live there? The only lemon here, it's Keith. Keith for the victory on Q5, 55,183 if you're getting that right. Kenny may spend 50% of the show being dead or becoming so, but that doesn't stop him playing a major role in the episodes. Okay, on to Q6. What is the name of the longest side of a right-angled triangle? Adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite. We're all a bit triggered by trigonometry, but if we're even going to start doing second-order linear partial differential equations like wave equations, which is a great way to spend a Saturday night, just me? Well, anyway, hard to spell, but easy to work out thanks to Pythagoras. It's hypotenuse. Yes, news to some of you, but 47,790 got that right. The opposite and adjacent sides are so called because they're opposite and adjacent to the angle theta that we're measuring. Now, on to sine, cosine, and tangent. Just kidding. Something different. Q7. Which of these works was painted by Diego Velázquez? The Birth of Venus, the Rokeby Venus, Venus of Urbino. Very influential painter. Dali, Picasso, and Bacon all recreated his works. Which of these has Diego's name on it, or rather hasn't, since he rarely signed his pictures? Keeping her modesty, it's the Rokeby Venus. Woke to the Roke were 4,647. That was our first genuine savage question of the day. Sauvage. That was sauvage. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Sorry about that. A lot of you thought The Birth of Venus, that is the famous Botticelli painting. Velázquez painted the goddess of love facing away from us, taking an ancient selfie in the mirror, and that was the Rokeby Venus. Okay, a bit of savagery now, on to Q8. Which of the following was invented by Victor Company of Japan? VHS, electric razor, DVD. This company was started back in 1927 in Yokohama. If I tell you that most people know them by initials, you may have more of a clue because it's JVC and they invented VHS. VHS, the tape we wanted, 5,567 of you got that right. VHS defeated Betamax in the 80s only to get done in by DVDs in the 90s. All right, on to Q9. Which country experimented with a new work-based calendar in the 1930s, color-coding workers' days off? Soviet Union, China, Germany. They've messed around with the calendar a few times in history. In the French Revolution, they tried a 10-day week with 10-hour days. It didn't really catch on, as you know. Now, the Germans are born efficient, but this wasn't their doing. Working so hard, they left tools on their flag. It's the Soviet Union. USSR are the right answer here. 2,655 of you getting that right. Well done, the majority. Every worker was assigned a colour to identify their days off, creating a pretty terrible alternative to having weekends. Q10. Due to its density, which of the following would float if placed on water? Pluto, Saturn, Neptune. George, it's George McFly. I am your density. Now, don't get hung up on technicalities with the question, like, how big a body of water would we actually need in order to float a planet on it? How would such a body be? It would be the size of a sun, maybe. It would have so much gravity and mass that the body coming towards it would be crushed or set the water on fire. Don't worry about all that stuff. One of these three is less dense than water, so would theoretically float, and it's Saturn. Saturn on a Saturday, the right answer, 1,503 of you. Clever cosmologists knew that. Saturn is the second biggest planet in the solar system, but it's mostly made of hydrogen and helium, so it has a low density. On to the last two. Here's Q11. What was the title of the book that served as inspiration for John Lennon's song Imagine? Grapefruit, Cut Piece, Fluxus. George Michael bought the piano on which John Lennon composed Imagine for $2 million. And then he gave it away to the Beatles Museum in Liverpool. What a bloke. Lennon was inspired by one of Yoko Ono's poems, but which was the name of the book he read it in? Bitter, however you slice it, it's Grapefruit. Yeah, and Yoko Ono finally got credited in 2017. 1,168 of you going for Grapefruit. Well done. Now world peace at the ready, because we're daisy chaining into the final round. Yep. What you could do with your slice of £1,000. 57 people using extra lives to get back in. Here's the last Q. Q12. What did US Airlines Southwest remove in the mid-90s to save money? Logos from rubbish bags, male stewards, olives from meals. Those money-saving tips like squeezing your tea bag twice, using leftover wine to make vinegar. But then what is leftover wine? Anyway, airlines are always cutting corners, but what did Southwest jettison in the 90s? American Airlines removed olives in the 80s, but this plan saved Southwest $300,000 in the 90s, binning the idea of putting themselves in the bin. It's rubbish bag logos for the win. And it's in the can for 295 of you. Well done. Yeah, a lot of you thought olives there, maybe thinking of American Airlines, and some of you went for male hostesses, thinking maybe about the gender pay gap, but it was rubbish bag logos for the win there. Congratulations to 295 of you who are taking home £3.39. Excellent gameplay. Whole range of questions and a whole range of subjects, but you navigated through the course brilliantly. Well done to Emma Jane, who looks a little bit young to play HQ, but she must be one of those child geniuses. To Ariella Platt, to Max Stealth, to Rutu, looking away with a hat there. Nice pictures. To all of you, that was excellent, excellent work. Well, as Napoleon said, in victory you deserve champagne, in defeat you need it. So however you did, I recommend pouring a glass with all speed. I'm Beric Livingstone. Find me on Twitter or Instagram. Send me your shout-out requests or just say hi. Always lush to hear from you. We are back tomorrow night and it's the big game with an £8,000 prize. Questions on a whole range of topics, lots of fabulous factoids and hopefully some fun. Be great to see you then. Meanwhile, enjoy the bubbles, darlings. Everybody does. Goodbye.